Good afternoon, good evening, hello, my fellow Ramley. You're on both horns. Well, I'm one horn. Normally, there's a second horn. Scratch that. There's always a second horn. Even though we are Joeless, we are not Showless. The other horn of both horns today is standing in for Sheriff Joe Baggs. You've seen him before. We love him. Everybody say what's up to Roon, Rams,
How we
active
doing? How
on
we doing?
Instagram, Twitter. What's up, man? You ready to fill these big shoes that Joe has for today's show?
Okay, Tuna, I'm not gonna lie, the audio issues happening right now. I literally cannot hear a word you're saying, so I'm gonna exit out real quick and I'll be right back.
That's one hell of a way to introduce our guest host from today. So he'll be back today. We actually have a really big show. There's a lot that happened. It went from us having basically nothing a few days ago to having a medley of Rams content. So that's why I needed a little bit of assistance because I don't want to just yap at the screen for you guys. But first, let's go through perfect timing. Welcome,
Made it
Roon.
back.
We're going to go through what we actually got on the docket today. Today, we got OTAs, sights and sounds. We got some interviews from players. We're going to take a look on the Twitter timeline, see what some of our guys are saying on the practice field. And then for everyone's ears, next time Roon needs to swallow deeply and drink some water, hit that mute button real quick. We got Kroenke and Inglewood. There's a brewing situation there that is not very fun. It's not awesome, but it does warrant observing. It's a situation to monitor since we are official situation monitors here. And then yay or nay on free agents, potential trades. Do the Rams need more reinforcements? Do they need to make a break the bank for a big signing, for a big trade? Roon here has done his homework. He's bringing some names. He's showing us some folks. And then we're going to kind of go back and forth. There's some that I disagree on. There's some that I agree as well. Muad'Dib is in full force anti-establishment here, saying sell the team. He saw Kroenke and immediately got all hyped up. Did I cop the merch? You know what? We saw that just drop like an hour ago. You want to start there, Roon? You want to check out this merch that the Rams just dropped?
Let's do it. I'm completely blind to all of it. I think I've seen like one shirt, so let's check it out.
All right, so I saw that message come through from the Rams. First thing on the docket here, let's just knock out this merch situation. Remember, this is the collab with Alfred's Apartment. Where's my little thing? There we go. New merch. So Alfred's Apartment, it is on their website, alfredsapartment.com. These are in Canadian dollars. Don't freak out. Don't freak out, guys. These are in Canadian dollars. So let's go across the board. First one's a white tee. $79 in Australian monies. You're gonna have to. You want to be our currency converter real quick? Were you able to do that?
I
Can't.
I don't know. I don't know any.
I got you. Currency converter. So we got what are we doing with Australian? Is that real money? We needed whatchamacallit? Rams down under here. So this is 79 Australian dollars, looking about 56.60 for this white tee here.
It's not bad.
Backside, pretty standard, pretty basic.
I like that design on the back.
That's cool. I see that they're going for this like wavy kind of aesthetic, like Vans off the wall type situation.
Kind of like the Maui kind of drop last year.
Yes, Rams Ranger did tell me about that. I was all up in arms about not liking the merch, and then he reminded me, he's like, "Hey, like, chill the fuck out. There's more stuff coming." Let's go. How do I just go back if I'm in? Apparently can't. Next one up here, the blue shirt. This is the one that caught my eye the most. Very simple.
Yeah,
Rams on front. Definitely all stitched in and everything. Nice embroidering. A lot of photos in this one.
Yeah. It's definitely high quality. If you want to steer away from all that like kind of Nike fanatics slop, if you will, that's high quality. I mean, that's you want to kick it at what's the beach? You want to kick it at Venice? That
Venice
looks like
Beach.
something that just like fits that vibe entirely.
Yeah, these are all priced at about $56 or so. I don't know if that's including tax. I'm just gonna say $60. $60 for both these t-shirts. 79 in Canadian monies. The one I'm gonna check out, I'm not gonna go through each thing. You got this t-shirt. This is just the front. This is my least favorite one. because that big A is weird. This is the one I think most people are excited for because the horns on the side are pretty sick. This one's priced at 99 Australian bucks, which is going to come out to about $70. So $70 for this long sleeve. Got the nice little logo there. The horns on the sleeves are pretty sick.
I like that word mark, the one where it's kind of like wavy. I kind of like that.
You like this thing?
Yeah.
The yellow on blue does look really good. And if this is matching the theme that they got for this year because they got rid of the gradient. I feel like they got rid of a lot of excess, went back to really simplistic. Some people love it. Some hate it. I do appreciate it. I think less is more, personally.
Yeah. But, might be teasing a little something there for a potential uniform colorway. Have they ever had like navy on sole like that kind of thing?
I think they did in a collab last year. Got a gray sweater, and then that's it. You got a bunch of Alfred's apartment, just standalone stuff.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the merch, Roon? Are you copping? Are you passing?
Yeah, it's not a bad drop. If I wasn't completely broke right now, I think I would. Yeah, like Ray's right. It definitely kind of gives off that Vans vibe to me. It's kind of, I don't know. I mean, I don't hate it. Like, they're good looking shirts, but like, kind of like the fact that they're kind of just like their own kind of separate thing. I might get the white one because it looks nice. Just wear it. Can't have too many Ram stuff. You can never have enough Ram stuff. But it's not a bad drop. It's not too expensive. It's a little more than I'd rather be paying for. But I mean, I don't know. I think it's high quality. That's what stands out the most.
Definitely.
I don't know if you feel the same way.
No, it's high quality. And like I said, I'll make a correction from this week. I was kind of really hard on it. I thought it was not really that creative. For what this is similar to the Maui one from last year, where you remember the team went to Maui practice, and so they had some really cool merch. Comparing last year's to this one, I hope that I hope the Aussies are happy about this, that they love this, and that this is hype, and it's a cool commemoration for like the Rams coming week 1 in the first NFL game in Australia. But from my American eyes, if I'm comparing the Maui to this one, the Maui just hit it out the park. I thought it was amazing. I'm mad I wasn't able to get my hands on anything from there in my size. This one, for what it is, and judging it for like what this drop is, I feel like there's a disconnect. It was pretty basic. Like, I don't think they really pushed the limits. The most creative they kind of got was the shoulder sleeves, which is a cool deal. So I'm gonna pass on this one, and my excuse is I want to make sure there's an extra large out there for Aussie that needs it. I don't want to take it from him. And then Moody says if it's Australian, should it be upside down? I can't with you. I can't with you at all today.
Yeah, not a single shirt with a kangaroo on it, so that's not authentic enough. That's why I'm not gonna get it.
Hey, and speaking of our Aussie friends, Rams Down Under, we just went over the merch. Reese and Hannah, I know you said that you were kind of into some of them, so drop in the comments, let people know how you're feeling about it, and we'll showcase it on here at least by the end of the show as well, if you guys want to. But let's hit this next topic. Before we jump into them, you guys, if you're not already, yes, this is not a younger time-traveled version of Sheriff Joe Bags. Roon is stepping in. He mans the handle RamsActive on Instagram and then over on Twitter. Make sure you give him a follow. He's here on YouTube as well. Really young content creator that obviously we trust and mess with enough to have him step in for Sheriff Joe Bags. So show the guy some love and go give him a follow. So
appreciate it.
OTAs. Are you excited for some actual real football things happening?
I'm very impatient, but this can satisfy my need for a little bit. I mean, obviously not some real action, but it's nice to see our guys out there getting in some work, especially the new guys. You look at future Stafford successor Ty Simpson, just some of the returning faces, just your Staffords, your Pukas, your Jared Verses. Just everybody, the boys are back in town, and they're getting after it.
Boys are back in town. Let's take a little stroll down my Twitter timeline. We got Gary Klein here, LA Times. Shout out to Gary, super nice to us over at training camp last year, and very communicative all through the year. But yeah, Gary Klein, LA Times beat writer, getting a nice little shot of Rams rookie quarterback Ty Simpson doing some warm-ups. every clip that we're seeing, every picture taken, these are the ones that are going to be used in headlines that we're looking back at years from now. Like, oh, hey, you remember Ty Simpson remember his first rookie year, and he had a Matthew Stafford and all this junk. We'll get to this a little bit later. OTAs wise, you also got Nate Atkins talking with Matthew Stafford a little bit. I got a quote here. For somebody my age, I feel pretty good. It's got to make you feel good. Look at that handsome lad. Look at him. Not a day over 30.
Unk still got it.
He is looking fucking old, though. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. We got to hurry up and win the damn Super Bowl so he can enjoy his daughters, man.
Oh, my God. Yeah, he's looking a little old there, Unk. Got some Anthony Richardson. There's balls spinning around everywhere. I like this one. Sean McVay said would be the case. Receiver Puka Nacua is on the field for Rams OTAs. I know you had some thoughts about this, Roon. You wanna spit what you think about Puka Nacua? He does have a contract that's pending. He's set to, let's assume, reset the wide receiver market. Arguably one of the top 2 and not 2 wide receivers in the NFL. We saw what JSN's going to get paid. We see what the other guys are getting paid. Is he out there because he's about to get paid? Do you really think they're being patient with it? We'll look at some of his quotes, but what does this tell you if Puka's out there, man?
You know, I think it really shows how the Rams have the leverage in his contract situation. You see sometimes where a guy will come off a monster season like Puka did, and going into a contract year, they're wanting to get paid now, and they want as much guaranteed. But you know, with the drama and stuff like that, as much as it kind of was like annoying to see, it kind of in some way kind of benefits the Rams because now you're not getting held hostage and kind of like in a situation where you have to pay him. If you are not close with him on an extension, then it kind of just frustrates the whole entire thing, kind of just starts like a negative, like trickle down kind of thing. But I'm seeing him there. It's definitely, it shows his character. A lot of people kind of just assumed after what happened this offseason that he's just, he's speed running to become the next Antonio Brown. Like that just pisses me off to hear because that's not the case at all. I mean, he's always been a likable guy. Sure, that's it. That's what happens with fame. You get caught up in stuff like that, and you know, I think he's learned from it. I think he's ready. This offseason definitely going to be kind of just like a maturity kind of thing for him. But don't know when he will get paid. But I think I just have a gut feeling he's going to get paid before the season starts, which I think he should. I think he'll probably get paid right around the time training camp starts, hopefully. But even if he isn't, he was talking to media today. They were asking him questions about him playing on, if he was comfortable not playing on a new deal. And he said he kind of was like not dodging the question, but kind of more deflecting it and saying, well, even if I'm not getting paid, he didn't say even if I'm not getting paid, but pretty much just ensuing that he's grateful. He's grateful to be with this organization. He said he couldn't imagine himself playing for another organization. So that's always good to hear. But I don't think we're really going to have any problems with Puka. I think there's just that absence of something right now. There's not enough news. So, of course, somebody's going to try to come out and be like, are the Rams mad at Puka Nacua? I'm like, no. Like, that's we always hear stuff like that every year. So I think we're going to get our boy taken care of. It might take some time, but he's going to get a bag. And what that'll look like, I don't know. I'd probably assume it's going to be somewhere in the ballpark of JSN's contract. He might get like $1 million more guaranteed a year, something like that. I don't know if he'll get paid more or just about the same. But no, I think we're fine in that situation. I don't know how you feel about that, but I think we are good with Puka, and it's great to see him out there, is what I'll say.
It is great. And what we'll do is I'll kind of give my counterpoint to that. Let's look at what Puka was saying. You kind of alluded to some of those quotes. Also, you guys, if you're agreeing with anything, if you're disagreeing, if you get your own thoughts, make sure you drop it in the chat for when the people that watch it not live and watch this recording, they've got something to reference back to see how you guys are feeling. Adam Grossbard, LA Daily News beat writer for the Rams. says Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua said he's been in therapy after off-field issues. Quote, I think recognizing from myself of kind of where I was at. I work with our team therapist over here. Little did I know that even just writing in a journal, it's been great improvement in my life. He went on to quote post and say, Puka Nacua declined to comment on the allegations against him from the lawsuit filed earlier this year. He did add, quote, a moment for me to learn from kind of some of the situations I was putting myself in, and then also having just an awareness of how I'm conducting myself. Let me see if there's anything more here. Adam does a really good job. If you guys don't follow him yet, again, LA Daily News, OC Register. He's a great follow over on Twitter. Always just straight to the point, cuts through the headlines, gives you what you need. And yes, Mudeeb, normalize mental health, 1,000%. I am very open about my own struggles. I encourage you guys all to as well. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. Here's what you were talking about, by the way, Roon. Adam asked Puka Nacua if he's comfortable playing without a new deal. Puka says, I haven't really thought about it. To be able to be out here and play for this organization specifically has been awesome. I couldn't imagine myself playing anywhere else. I'll let all those things handle themselves. So hearing that, I do buy it. I don't think you're in a situation where we're the furthest removed from any kind of holdout. And with the ongoing issues, the potential legal stuff he has going on, I do think and I'm going to say, it's going to sound bad when I say it, it's almost beneficial to the team. Sure, it's a PR headache. Of all teams to have a PR headache, we've talked about it like a million times on the stream. The Rams are the ones that you hope are taking care of putting out PR fires because of how closely they kind of operate. They keep everything close to the chest. Every time there's rumors, you kind of like inherently don't believe it because you're like, who in the Rams is leaking stuff? Like who's saying anything? You kind of don't buy it. The Chargers media team isn't helping. They got him pretty good. I was happy with that. You got to jab him a little bit if you fuck up. Yeah. It's part of the process. But because for contract situations, this does, I think, potentially give the Rams some leverage because now you've got to make sure he's got this therapy. You got to make sure he's got his rehab. You got to make sure he's got X, Y, and Z, helping your guy through a learning lesson in fame, essentially. Like I think that gives the Rams a little bit of leverage. I know Puka's representation's probably veteran enough to try to navigate that, but I do think if anything, it's going to give them a little bit more time. And I'm assuming Roon probably got a call and kicked him off StreamYard. So we'll see him back here in a moment. I really don't think it's any sort of issue. Welcome back, Roon.
I got to get a laptop as soon as possible. This is frustrating.
It's all good, man. No, just wrapping up saying I don't think this is anything. I don't think there's any worry about him. I do think it's all valid what they're saying. It's obviously well scripted and they're all going to say the right things after practice, but I am buying what they're selling. And then when it comes to other people's contracts, I'll ask you, is Puka next in line? Like, is his getting done next? Or do we think some other guys are going to take priority? I think Kobe Turner is the most logical to actually get done next. He's a captain. He is marketable. He's on TV shows. Like, he's got a family now. Like, he is the quintessential, like, almost as much as Quinton Lake is, as much as Matthew Stafford is. Like, he is the Rams. And I think you take care of your guys first. Do you think Puka's next, or do you think somebody else is going to get that contract before him?
I don't think Puka's next. And it's kind of just a couple things. One, the numbers, on Puka's side, any other team will pay him if we don't. So it's not like he's stuck with us.
Yeah.
That's
like, obviously
not good. That's not good to hear, but I mean, that's kind of, that is something to look at. But
like you can't name a single team in any sport that won't sign Puka Nacua if he's not a Ram next year.
Yeah. That way. But kind of just getting back onto that. I don't think he's next because, one, the numbers, they're trying to figure out if they can maybe pay him less than what JSN got because of the ongoing legal problems, because of just the therapy, all sorts of stuff like that. I don't think that's what they want to do. I think they want to pay him what he's earned just to keep a steady relationship, because there's no doubt in my mind that McVay and the whole entire coaching staff wants to keep him as a Ram for life, because he's I don't know if any of you guys remember, but he doesn't plan on playing a super long NFL career. He said he wants to
Yeah.
retire by what was it, like age like 30?
Yeah, he wants to do the Aaron Donald plan where he plays like 8 to
Yeah.
10 years. I forgot the exact number, but you are right.
Yeah. So he's not going to have like a 20-year NFL career. He's not going to be one of those guys like, yeah, Kobe, Warren, Dotson, those are all priorities. I would say if I had to choose an order, I think Kobe Turner would go first. Like just out of those three, I think it'd go Kobe, Dotson, then Warren. Because you look at Kobe Turner, like the stuff you brought up. He's a leader. He's very marketable because he's got the music. His music is
So Ray
it's not
said
that
too.
bad. It's not that
Dude,
bad.
it's so funny. So I showed like my girl, she's getting into Rams fandom because of me. And so like you slowly introduce like new players. And so I finally, there was a reason to show her Kobe Turner. It was one of his videos where he's just sitting at home just singing. I was like, oh hey, here's Kobe Turner in his 91 sacking a quarterback. I showed her a highlight. I said, also this is also Kobe Turner and him singing. And in her words were to the gist of like, why the fuck is he good at everything? Like pick one. You can't do both. You can't do everything. And be a dad, he's probably a great dad. Like,
Yeah.
get the fuck out of here.
It just makes no sense for somebody like who makes music like that. Like I'm not saying it's bad. Like I'm just saying for somebody who like you look at somebody who's making like what would you even like that's not opera. How would you like classify that music? It's kind
He's a
of just like
he's a classical singer. No, and
classic
no,
like
I'm gonna
yeah.
disagree. Fuck that. No, you're not allowed to be good at everything. You need some shit for us. Like
It's
you're
just for as much of a killer he is, it's funny how he's like just like a classical singer and a good ass one at that, I will say.
Mm.
But yeah, I think the most ethical one, what makes the most sense to do next is Kobe. AD and Big Wit. I miss both of them dearly. I remember I was watching a documentary the other day. It was just like a documentary on the 21 season. I forgot how much I missed Aaron Donald, Big Wit, Von Miller, OBJ, guys like that. And I mean, this we just gotta get ready to do it again this year. But I think it'll go Kobe Turner. Then I think they might try to nail something down with Dotson. I think Puka might honestly be the third in line if you look at it.
I was gonna say I think so, and then I think Warren is probably on a prove it type deal. Like at least start the season hot and he get his done midseason. So, Roon, this is perfect time. We're right in the middle of OTA stuff. We're gonna take like a 60-second break before we transition to some other players in OTAs. Usually we would do just a strict ad read or something here, but coming in clutch. Love talking football with this dude. We got a super chat. We got our first super chat of the show today. Roger Morales with the $20 says Puka has to be next. Love Kobe, but Puka is on another level. And that's a solid argument. Like when it comes down to it, if you're negotiating with a guy, if you've got like this is the counter to what we were saying, like, oh, maybe they leverage it, maybe he waits. That's your guy. Your marketing is the number one wide receiver in the NFL. JSN wasn't even the offensive player of the year. He was defensive player of the year. So it shows you what the NFL thinks about him. I do feel bad for him. That's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
But Roger does have a point of you take care of your guy, especially when he has won you so many games. Like who knows how many games the Rams don't win without Puka Nacua on the field. He's the bullet sponge. He's going to absorb every pass from Stafford. He is an important part of the engine that keeps this offense going. Like I know the answer is a yes, so it's kind of a hypothetical question, but is it the worst thing in the world if they just say, hey, we're paying Puka tomorrow and he's making fucking $40 million a year? Like, would that be really the worst thing?
I wouldn't think so. I mean, of course that's very expensive. But I mean, fuck it. I mean, for the year he had last year, I'd be fine. I'd sell my house, give it to him. I don't care, man. I'd go homeless for that fool. He was phenomenal last year.
Sell my house.
Yeah, but no, really, he's just
that was deserving. That was deserving of a double fa for you.
Yeah, but I think you can honestly just write him. Just give him a blank check. Just give him a blank check. I mean, I think like I said earlier, he's probably just going to make close to JSN. But I mean, I'm sure they want to figure out the Puka contract. I'm sure they want him to be the next in line. But because of just like there's a lot of variables that go into that contract. I think it's too difficult to almost get that done before everybody else's. Well, not everybody else's, but some of the guys that would be next in line after Puka, like we went over Kobe Turner, maybe even Kevin Dotson. But I do agree with you on Warren McClendon being kind of on like a prove a deal.
Kind of makes sense.
Yeah, he started like half a year last year, so I mean, he's not really a proven starter like Kobe and Kevin. So, well, thank you for the super chat.
Yeah, no, super chats are never encouraged or never advertised. Neither is membership to anything that we do. Everything that we want to do is never going to be behind a paywall like of stuff that you want to see. But you'll get stuff first. You'll get stuff early. And I mean, if you're watching us every single day, what you're doing is contributing to us staying independent and turning us into a full-time gig and carrying all our homies with us. So thank you, Roger, for always supporting, and thank you to the rest of the community for always supporting. Knocking out our quote-unquote ad reads. We're going to leave Roger up there for a little bit. So let me see. Let me get this first one here. You guys already know who we're shouting out. We do it every single show because it's a cause we believe in. Shout out to Amor Alvalle here in the San Fernando Valley. If you don't know what they do, it's, some people feel it's taboo to talk about. We're not one of those channels. ICE in Los Angeles is such a shit show, and they're kidnapping people. And we fully believe in that. Folks like Amor Alvalle, what they're doing is providing support to families and individuals that need things like grocery runs. I myself have volunteered. I've seen people cry when you deliver them groceries, and it's a really shitty situation, but these folks are doing the hard work. So give them a follow. That's their Instagram handle. If you can't volunteer, you can give $1. I know they would appreciate it. Just a follow for the visibility. So shout out Amor Alvalle.
Can you send me a donation link to that, by the way, after?
Yeah, absolutely. And then obviously our guest host, we talked about him at the top of the show, but if you guys have not already, make sure you're following Roon over at RamsActive as I pull up his little slide here. I hate doing this without Joe. I just realized he's got access to all the same stuff. It's hard being a producer and a talent at the same time. Make sure you're following RamsActive over. That's his Instagram there. Give him a follow. He's one of the bright young content creators that is going to be doing this thing for a lot more years than I will. All right, transitioning back into OTAs, we've got quarterback action. You ready for this, Roon? This is kind of history in the making, man. Shout out to Jackson Durham over at Chat Sports, covering the Rams, the present, the future, and Stetson Bennett. Kind of fucked up.
Poor Stetson, man. He gets so much flack from everybody.
Like, incredibly, but he does have a point. Past, present, and yeah. But you also got Matthew Caldwell. He's there. Unsigned, undrafted rookie out of Texas. So right now the Rams, like, whichever way you want to cut it, like, obviously we'll never know who's truly killing it and who's like in the lead with quarterback 2. We're going to assume it's going to be Stetson Bennett because of tenure and leadership and everything. But these are the 4 quarterbacks, like, barring injury, knock on wood, barring an opportunity coming up where they do want to trade for, I don't know, what if they're like really intrigued by Anthony Richardson and they add him, for competition for later, you're just something random that we don't know and can't foresee. This is your stable. This is your QB 1 and 2, your third, your emergency 4th that travels but's not active. This is the stable. This is who you got leading the team. Be real with me, Roon, with your young brain, your young Rams fan brain. How do you feel about the quarterback 2 situation and like having to vie between Stetson Bennett and Ty Simpson, like, as we head into the training camp?
Before I get into that, you want to know what I just noticed?
Huh?
It's a cold day in hell. We no longer have both Troy Reeder or Dresser win. What the hell happened? What did they decide to just, hey, we're done with you? I wasn't a big fan of Dresser win personally, because who names their kid Dresser? That's what I got right here. But
Yeah, no dresser win and no Troy Reader, no Tutu Atwell.
No Troy Reader. I'm knocking on wood for that Troy Reader thing.
Or is he just taking his time because he knows he's got a deal coming? He'll sign the day before training camp.
He's chilling in Malibu right now. He doesn't
exactly.
even have he can rest until the regular season. He's getting a starting spot week 1. Like it's
you think McVay had a hard time breaking up with him? He told him he's like, yeah. I don't know what's happening, man. I'll talk to Les, and just like ignoring texts and shit.
Yeah, just ghosted him out of nowhere.
But like I was saying though, this is your quarterback stable. How do you feel about either Stetson Bennett, Ty Simpson starting at QB2 heading into training camp? Do you have any thoughts, or you gotta wait to see?
It kind of is more kind of like a wait to see, because it's not even training camp yet, right? We're in OTAs, so it's kind of just like the beginning of the thing. One thing I did realize, or that I've kind of noticed about Ty Simpson, is that his throwing motion, like compared to Stafford's, like Stafford has one of the quickest throwing releases in the game. But you look at Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson's almost is like, I would say it's one of the slower ones that I've seen, because his is more of like I'm not a quarterback, so I'm not like
his is not tight. If you look at his technique, it's definitely not sound, and I don't feel like it's consistent, and that's part of his knock on why like you're more than likely not going to see him like early on. Like if a quarterback 2 has to come in, you are maybe hoping for Stetson Bennett, just because of familiarity with the nuances of the offense and the technique. Like your technique, why does it matter at this level is the difference between, are you ready to throw in 2.1 seconds versus with someone like Ty Simpson, where everything's not sound, everything's a little bit loose, it's inconsistent. You're throwing between 2.3 and 2.9 seconds all across the board. Offense is out of rhythm. You're missing shit. Sometimes interceptions happen from just being 0.1 second too late rather than, it wasn't the right read. Like that's how thin the margin is. So you are right. Like I'm actually interested that you saw that right away. Was that today you saw that, or
that's something I've kind of noticed for, like, I think since the first kind of stuff came out. Well, not came out. Like first kind of Instagram posts of Ty Simpson doing drills, throwing the ball around.
Yeah.
That's one thing I noticed, because it really is a big change from Stafford, because he really is quick to release the ball, and just going from that to Ty Simpson, who's one of the slower guys to do that. It was just kind of something that immediately stuck out to me. I think that's kind of they are going to work on his mechanics, though, is what I'm thinking. Is I think they already see some of Stafford in him with one, the pocket presence, but two, kind of just the arm on him in general. But I think they are going to work on those mechanics, and that's kind of just why I think Stetson Bennett is going to win the QB2 job. Not only is it tenure and experience, but it's also the mechanics. Would you rather have a guy who's had experience in the preseason? I mean, albeit it's not regular season experience, but you want a guy who's familiar with the offense, been there for 4 or 3 years? Is he in a contract year right now? I think he is.
Who's that?
Stetson. Is he in a contract year?
Yeah.
I think, that's what I thought. But yeah, I think the tenure, the experience, the familiarity, and just kind of the mechanics as well. I mean, Stetson, he knows the team. He's familiar. Ty Simpson, this is his first day of school, first week of school, pretty much, kind of thing. So he still has a lot to learn, still a lot to work on. So and you'd almost rather have that happen, so he has time to sit, to learn. Not really going to learn much behind Stetson Bennett.
Hey,
but
what if Stetson's the shit?
I hope he is. One of my good friends, he's a huge Georgia fan, and he likes the Rams because of Matthew Stafford and Stetson Bennett.
Respect.
I think that's a pretty good analogy, Edwin. That's
throwing Nerf darts right now.
Nerf darts.
USA Express said throw motion looks like a fumble waiting to happen. And what is it? Is it payday or something, Roger? Or we better not be inebriated and spending money. Got another super chat, another $1.99 to push his comment to the top. Roger says, bring back Hemi G, please. I feel you. That has been my number one. like you watch every show, Roger. You know, like we were high on Jimmy G back at training camp last year. I do still think that if Jimmy showed up today, I would be pushing hard for him to be the backup, obviously. I would like to see a real competition between him and Stetson Bennett, but obviously the coaches know a million times more, and I don't want to sit here and dive too deep into, just QB2 talk again, get sidetracked, because I do want to get back on track here. But thank you, Roger. Thank you. Appreciate you picking up the slack in the super chats. I appreciate you. Speaking of Stafford, though, we do have some Matthew Stafford stuff. Let's see what his comments were in regards to Devontae Adams.
Yards and catches, and I think there's even another level
to
it for myself and for him.
Yeah.
So just excited to continue to get those reps and that understanding. I feel really lucky to play with a player like Devontae that, has done it at a high level for such a long time. I don't take that for granted. He is a special player, special human being. Yeah.
To say the least, special human being. First year with the Rams, leads the NFL in touchdown receptions, and he didn't even play all 17 games. He's definitely somebody to watch. I'm a little hesitant to say he'll repeat it and do that. Obviously, that's the potential output, fantasy-wise, too. But with the hamstring that pulled up last year, he did seem human. Like, okay, he's not impenetrable. You hope, and that's why a lot of people wanted a wide receiver 3. Just real quick, are you worried about him? Any nagging injuries? Mind you, he was running around at that flag football thing a few months ago.
You're always going to be concerned about injuries when you have a wide receiver of his age, and especially when you have like a prior injury, something like a hamstring. Me being kind of a victim of a couple of hamstring things myself, they do tend to linger. So that's kind of one thing I'm kind of worried about, just speaking from experience there. I don't think, since he's not the wide receiver 1 of this team, he's not carrying the majority workload, and he's not that deep threat he used to be. He had a couple of good throws. Like I remember that one against the Eagles. That was I think it was like 30, 40 yards out. That was probably, I would say, the deepest he caught that year. But he's not really a deep threat anymore. So I wouldn't really treat him as a deep threat, because I think that play where the hamstring kind of flared up on him, it was a deep shot, deep-ish.
Against Detroit,
least. Yeah, it was, yeah. But you're always going to be concerned about stuff like that. I mean, I'm always concerned with guys getting injured who literally have no injury concerns. That's kind of just who I am. I always stress about my guys. So I think it's right to stress. It's kind of just human instinct to just stress about a kind of injury like that, especially with his age. But we just got to be optimistic that he just goes out there and does what he did last year. Teams will probably start to game plan around that more when getting into the red zone packages, I would have seen.
Just like Kobe said, government mandated 1-yard touchdown pass to Tay. That's exactly why, because inside the 5, he was automatic. And you're right. Like I myself am pretty optimistic. Like I think he'll cook again. Mind you, they didn't really have training camp together. It took a little bit to get going. At times, it looked like he was just way more comfortable with Puka in key situations. Despite all that, like still putting up 14 touchdowns is crazy. Stafford was also asked about the Ty Simpson pick. Again, going back to Adam Grosberg. More from Matthew Stafford on the Ty Simpson pick. Quote, I understand where the team's coming from. Listen, meet you real quick. When you're doing that, by the way, it's super loud. The metal
my bad.
thing. Yeah. Listen, I'm not 25 years old, and I get that. So we're doing everything we can to be as good a football team as we can for now, for the future, for all of it. And this kind of reiterates that. Matthew Stafford says he understood the Rams' decision to draft Ty Simpson. He's trying to answer the rookies' questions the best he can. This is where we are going to start seeing this all season long of Matthew Stafford's going to get questions about him all the fucking time. How's development? Like, how's the relationship? What's he asking? What's he doing? I think that's going to be way more annoying than the actual practice of working with Ty Simpson. I don't know if it ends up being a problem, but yeah, maybe I'm wrong.
Can only wait and see.
Other leaders that talked today, we got Stu Jackson Rams beat writer inside the building says Sean McVay said figuring out how to fit all the pieces in the secondary together has been a good, positive process. And then he's answering Adam Grosbart's question. McVay said those players are learning all the spots on the back end of the defense, and that, quote, you're seeing Trent McDuffie all over those spots. So kind of similar to how we'll see Quentin Lake at a lot of different places. We're probably going to see Trent McDuffie slot outside. Is he a nickel? Is he a star? Is he a safety? I think they just really like the interchangeability of all those guys. He goes on to say there are certain guys that will play just safety or just outside corner, McVay said, but they have a lot of guys who can play safety, star, dime, and money positions. I'm glad that they went out and got guys that are just talent level near the top, because all this interchangeability, all this stuff that was like touted last year in that same position group is what got us the season that we got, where it was like, okay, we're hoping Akella Witherspoon comes back, or we're hoping Emmanuel Forbes figures out how to be a CB1 in just 1 year under this pressure. Now you actually have the talent to back up the desire to mix and match all over the place. I hope it works out, man. I think with the Jalen Watson addition as well, it makes the secondary obviously vastly better than it was last year. But now I think the pressure goes to Shula, where, okay, maybe your hands were a little bit tied the last 2 years. Maybe you didn't have the most talented guys at every position. Maybe he literally did the best anyone could possibly do with those rosters. Now there's not really an excuse. Like, you got a year 3 Jared Verse, you got a contract year BY, you got Puna, you got all the like nice addition pieces with rookies. Now you got Jalen Watson and Trent McDuffie, and you re-sign. Like, you got pieces everywhere. Like, what's the excuse now if the defense falters this year? Maybe I'm being a little loud towards Shula, but does any of that stuff cross your mind? Like any minds, anybody you talk to at all?
You know, directly after that Seahawks game, that NFC Championship, I was very critical of Shula. One, I didn't think he did a great job at adjusting. I still don't think he did a great job. But when you look at what he had to deal with, he had no Akella Witherspoon available. He had Kobe Durant. And while Kobe Durant was great at getting takeaways, you saw that in the Chicago game, the game before, he had some coverage issues. And I mean, as much as we want to say that, as much as we liked his personality, he was kind of fun to watch at times, but also sometimes, especially in that Chicago game, there was times where you saw him do something and you're like, what the fuck is this guy doing? So I think, yeah, but I think
You allowed to curse, bro? In my house?
Yeah, my mom said I can until 6 o'clock. So we're just reaching the deadline here.
All right, there you go.
No, but I think Shula's hands were tied. I think he tried his best. You know, the guys up front did as much as they could. Like, literally all the respect in the world to them. It was just the guys in the secondary who just couldn't get it done. I think going out, of course, fixing that problem, giving him to those guys to work with who already know themselves from Kansas City, I think that definitely is going to help out Shula. And I think Shula, he's going to have an easier time being able to adjust because you talked about the interchangeability with guys like Quentin Lake and Trent McDuffie, who can play kind of just like the dime star kind of positions. So, yeah, that's what I like about McDuffie, is kind of just the interchangeability. He's going to have just the versatility overall. But
yeah,
I think Shula's going to have a better year than last year. I will say that. How better? Don't know. Do know.
Come on, Colby, with a solid. This is essentially how I feel about it. I hope we get to see closer coverage and let the safeties do their job up top. Yep. Again, USA expect closer coverage. Yep. Chat's tapped in exactly what you're saying. That's was frustrating all year. That's why they brought in those guys specifically. Like you said, that experience from KC is going to step up in big ways and pay off in big ways. To finish up the OTA section, I ran out of stuff that I had saved, so I did a real quick check back to see if Adam had posted anything. He's got we're just going to go down Adam's timeline because he's just got a bunch of stuff. I won't stop until we get to the end here. But basically, kind of what you were saying. We get to look at Ty Simpson warming up from the side with his mechanics. I'm not gonna sit here and do a deep dive on like, oh, look at his hip flow compared. Like, it's just Ty Simpson. It's practice. It's cool. Just look at it and move on. This was my favorite. Posted about it on Instagram as well. One, it makes me feel older than I already am, but look at this, man. Look how happy he is to have his guy back. Look how happy Robert Woods is too.
You love to see that, man.
I love this shit. Robert Woods back in Los Angeles in the form of a coach. He is one of the assistant coaches in that wide receiver room. Eric Yarber, Coach Yarbs, toothpick and all. Yeah, toothpick in the photo. I just realized that too. He has a little bit slightly elevated of a position where he's like got a little bit more control than just a wide receiver room, but he is still running the wide receiver room. So probably nice for him to have like someone like Bobby Trees. Like, it's got to be sick as hell, right? For everyone involved.
Yeah.
You say Expresses, who has the ponytail. That, if I recognize her, I think that is the lead either equipment or something along those lines. She works in equipment. She's like head of something. The Rams actually did the NFL did a paper on her last year because she was like, I forget exactly why people were super stoked about her. But she does really great work, or she's been recognized by the rest of the league. She is, from what I remember her at camp last year, she's just super nice, like always helpful as well. Ray says, keeping our wide receiver coaching elite. I do agree. So that was cool. Let's see what else Adam's got from OTA coverage. It's more Matthew and Ty going on there. Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson. Speak of the Devils. I know you've seen a little bit of this, but we get some more first looks of the new Rams in some horns. There's Trent McDuffie. And then we got Jalen Watson. Oh, look how cool that is. Lined up against Devontae Adams there. What else we got? Would that be why in coverage? Emmanuel Forbes out there on the side. Yeah, Emmanuel Forbes out there. Looks like Landman. That looks like it's McDuffie right there. Probably Puka. I can't tell that's Puka in the slot. Yeah, this is nice, man. We're almost there. You guys feel it? We got football. Football's happening in Los Angeles. Let's see. He had some more quotes. There you go. Adam asked Matthew Stafford if he plans to finish his career with the Rams. Quote, I'm not going to sit here and try to predict the future. That would probably be a yes. I don't know what's going to happen. I do love playing here. I love playing for this organization. And my family loves it here. Also, I have $50 million a year that tells me that probably, yeah, he's going to be here. We're not going to spend too much time on that. More about therapy. It's the same thing about the therapy. New deal. And I think we've got the rest of the stuff already covered. Yep. Looks like that's what we got here. I think I pretty much got everything, at least that I've seen from OTAs. Yes, Ray, we are getting closer. It's gonna be training camp soon. Are you ready for camp, bro?
I'm way beyond ready for training
camp. We do have Nick Hamilton posted. I'm myself on the field. All right, we got one more clip. This is compliments of Nightcast Media. Nick Hamilton over on Twitter, and then we'll transition over into our scheduled segment today about potential new additions for the Rams. Let's go here. Nick Hamilton. Met him once last year. He's a host at Nightcast Media over on Sirius XM. He's also been seen on NBC LA. Give him some credit to some new faces you guys haven't seen on stream before. Let's see what this clip is all about. I have not seen this yet. So this is new for me as well. It's about a minute long.
One checking out how I'm doing. This offseason, I've been really grateful for the support from the organization, especially my teammates. People reaching out at different times of the offseason, just checking in. One checking out how I'm doing, see how my family's doing with my son growing up as he is. So I'm just really grateful for the people around me and in this organization. And some of the things I feel like I've learned is it's okay to ask for support, and then to recognize the platform that I have in being a professional football player and trying to use that for the betterment of myself and for those around me and the people that have supported me. I'd say a little bit of a big hurdle. Coming from a big family and just being involved in sports is kind of always you get knocked down. There's one bad play. There's another play to get ready to prepare and kind of make that correction, and never just seeking assistance. And there's always been good people around me, but always something where it's like, man, the wrongdoings or the mistakes that I made felt like it was like an internal thing, and never allowing that to really express. I like to think of myself as a pretty happy, outgoing guy and enjoying life. But there also were some of the difficulties of just being in this professional sport and just throughout my entire life. This offseason,
yeah, so a lot of canned PR messages, but the gist of it being, it's hard asking for help. It's your typical stuff that we have all said as men. Hopefully you never have to deal with this too much, Roon, and it's less taboo to talk about what you got going on. But to wrap that all up, if you're having struggles, reach out to someone. Hell, reach out to me. There's a bunch of you in my DMs talking about football. I'm here for more than football. I'm here for the community. So if you need someone to talk to, but sometimes folks at home, it's a little bit too close, reach out to a friend. Just reach out to somebody. And I'm glad that he is also doing it as well. So, yeah, looks like that's a cool little OTAs wrap up. I do want to get into our actual segment that we wanted to do today. Are you ready, Sir Roon?
I am ready.
We're gonna save the Kroenke stuff for the end because that's more for me. I get to talk about capitalism and I get to talk about representation. You guys know I get juiced up about that, and I will get off tangent. So we're gonna save that for the end. We got yay or nay. Sir Roon and I have been talking. There are some players still in free agency, still get rumored that the Rams may make a move here or there. That let's talk about it, because I don't think anyone's off the table. I think in this scenario where we're going to play make believe with some of these player names, you have to assume if the Rams want them enough to go and get them, ignore the salary cap, because if they want a guy, they're going to go fucking get him. They're going to figure out a way to make it happen. Some names on here are going to be a little bit more exciting than others. Some are boring as hell. Some sound stupid as fuck, but we're still going to talk about it. First one actually, you know what? The ball's in your court, Roon. What player do you want to talk about first? Drop the hammer on us.
Let's start out with probably the biggest name, I would say, out of all these. This guy is actually probably one of the most linked trade targets as of now to the Rams. That would be Philadelphia Eagles wide receiver AJ Brown. And now let's get into that a little bit, because I've heard, like, I'm so conflicted on whether I think they'll do it or not. Because on one hand, I have the Rams don't want to give up that much, because the Eagles, they're asking for a first-round pick, and I don't think they're going to want to do that, especially when they have Devontae and all that stuff. It's all that on one hand. And on the other hand, I'm like, well, they already tried to go and get him for some reason. What's stopping them from still going out and getting him? And I know he has some injury concerns, but the Eagles want to move on from him. They haven't came out and said that, but you can tell they want to get rid of him. Mainly because they will be receiving, of course, compensation. Will it be a first-round pick? I don't know. I saw the Patriots aren't really eager. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're really not eager to go out and give up all this stuff for AJ Brown. So I think maybe you could see the Rams getting a little more aggressive if the Eagles do decide to drop the asking price for him. But at the end of the day, I don't think the Rams would really want to outbid the Patriots for AJ Brown, mainly because the Patriots will probably give up more for him because they have more of a need for wide receiver versus the Rams, who have one of the best receivers in football. Personally, I think he's the best receiver in football. And then you have a guy
you ain't got to get politically correct about it, bro. You said, remember I told you, say it with your chest. Say it with your chest, man.
That's my guy. Best receiver in football. And then you have the guy who led the league in receiving touchdowns. Remind me if that's a good thing or not.
But it can get even better. You can have more touchdowns. You can have more.
We did score a lot of touchdowns. Touchdowns are very cool. But
touchdowns are good. I do like touchdowns.
I just don't know. It's kind of like a fairy tale kind of thing, much like that Max Crosby thing, except it wasn't really as like the Max Crosby thing was never like, oh, the Rams could go out and get him. It was more of like a what if they go and get him. But with the AJ Brown thing, I would say it's either going to be between the Patriots or the Rams if he does get traded. but I don't think the Rams will get him, mainly because of, one, the asking price, two, the Patriots being just in much more need for A.J. Brown, and three, just the fact that the Rams already have a loaded offense. What do you have to say about that?
Let's before I give mine, guys, I've seen a lot of some people saying yes, some people got emojis. Every time we drop a name, next person on the list, drop a thumbs up, drop a thumbs down, drop a poop emoji. Give us your immediate reactions. That way we can kind of gauge how we're feeling each time we drop a name. For the most part, I'm seeing kind of mixed. USA Expat says nay, locker room cancer. I can kind of address that a little bit. Kamal says without sending DA, he says go for it. Yay, F them Muad'Dib. So a little bit of mix here. Bad Mofo Ramp. Hey, good to see you in here, man. He says no thanks. So he makes a good point too. Only one football. PFT says as far as the actual trade, we're all waiting for a June 1 to happen. So the cap hit is in half for the Eagles. So that way they can trade Brown, obviously limiting their risk. June 1st, I think that's the trigger date on a lot of contracts. It's not the new year, obviously, but I forgot what June 1st signifies. If anybody else,
like a contract cutoff kind of nonsense. I don't keep up with that.
But I forgot why. If somebody in chat knows, feel free to comment it and I'll see it. Rappaport says, I just don't know that it's going to be like snap your fingers and the deal is done, because the two sides where they have been, which is the Eagles wanting our first round pick in 2027, the Patriots being the most likely destination. We'll see if someone else arises. But the Patriots are not willing to give up a first-round pick as of right now. That means they're not particularly close. And there's a chance this could drag on for the foreseeable future. Obviously, things change. Not to say, like, hey, this guy, like, barring injury, because I know a lot of people like to bring that up with the draft picks, like, should have drafted a receiver because of injuries. You don't know when a guy is going to get injured. You don't know what position is going to get injured. But injuries happen in OTAs. We've already heard of guys tearing their Achilles, tearing their ACL so far this year. What if something happens in the Rams locker room? What if you're short a guy next week? What if something happens to what if Micah Evans goes down in San Francisco? What if some cap space opens up for another team? Somebody else is going to be in the running. I don't think this is going to be just one team. I do think, and this is the preface, all the names you're going to list that are potential trade targets, it's like a why not. I don't think anyone's off the table for the Rams, like to go get, because I think they'll figure out the salary cap however they want. They'll do the fucking mental gymnastics. And for a guy like A.J. Brown, if they're able to swing that and not give up Devontae Adams and just add it in there and just become so top heavy, if they're able to become unfair of an offense, locker room cancer aside, diva stuff aside, it does make a lot of sense. Now, the negatives of that, I'm always hesitant to believe diva shit. OBJ was a diva. He was one of the worst cases of people are like, oh, he's a shithead, too dramatic. You got the New York Giants boat incident where he's front and center on all the shit that came out of Cleveland. And then he comes in here and he's at fucking McVay's wedding post Super Bowl because they're that close and everything. So is it like born in them and that's how they are? Or is it the environment that causes you to lash out sometimes? Like, I've been a bad employee when I know I'm working for a fuckhead of a place. Guilty as charged. I'm not going to blame A.J. Brown for the same thing. You know what I mean? Let's just get Justin Jefferson. I'm tired of but some of our folks in here have good points. Like why you can see something like this happen. Like if the Rams want to get into a bidding war, they could, because they technically don't need a QB the draft anymore. Like you're not in the running for Manning. You're not in the running for whoever else, Lenora Sellers, if it's him. So what do you use them on now? Okay, go acquire more targets for Matthew Stafford. Somebody mentioned something about records. Yeah, if they do get A.J. Brown somehow, they absolutely are going to go for some goddamn records, throwing the ball 6,000 times. But yeah, overall on this one, even though if they did it, I would see it working, I'm going to go with nay myself, just because I think that would be, those resources could be more impactful elsewhere. That's why. At least I think so. after your argument on it, are you yay or nay on AJ Brown?
You know what? Even though I don't think it's gonna happen, why the hell not?
Don't panic. By the way, I'm still here, but you're on the stage. You're on the stage now.
But even though I don't think it's gonna happen, why the hell not? Go out. If any team is going to give up a first-round pick and go out and get a player they believe in and they want, who else is going to do that but the Rams? Like, the Rams are probably the most likely team to do that. You see how many times they've picked in the first round in the last, 10 years. I think it's been, twice in 10 years. That's craziness. But no, I agree with, was it Muad'Dib that said, you don't need to save up first-round picks anymore. Of course, first-round talent, it's there, but
the
really,
Eagles have pick 32.
Exactly. I mean, you go out, you get AJ Brown, and you have a wide receiver trio. Somehow, you don't have to include Davante Adams in an AJ Brown deal. You're looking at Puka Nacua, and I don't know who'd be wide receiver 2, Davante or AJ Brown. I think it'd kind of just be like a 2A, 2B kind of thing. But no, I would fully support going out and doing this. Is it expensive? Yes.
Potentially,
but who cares? Who cares? Go out and do it.
To answer Ramsau's questions right here. So you're a yay, I'm a nay. Just giving an answer on why it would make sense, despite the tight end talk and all this stuff. You just give yourself the ability to maybe, rather than running 50%, 13 personnel, you run 40%. And I'm sorry, but just thinking of game planning as a defensive coordinator, if I got to worry about, 13 personnel was so damn good, and if they want to go spread, they got AJ Brown out there next to Davante Adams and Puka Nacua. That's kind of a fucking nightmare. Offense should never be the reason a game is lost, if that is the case. But moving on to the next person, I'm gonna pick this next one, and it's actually a shout out to Bad Mofo Ram fan. He said it here. He actually guessed one of the names that's on there. So let's talk about the other side of the ball. I don't know how much is really there smoke-wise, but Kayvon Thibodeau, he did get linked. I don't know if it was a verified account or not, but somebody talked about, how would it be if the Rams sent over some picks for Kayvon Thibodeau. What were your initial thoughts about this as I pull up his numbers from last year as well?
I don't think I would be on the side of wanting this to happen, and it's mainly because of I don't think he's better than Verse and Byron. I don't think he's better than either of them. So I think trading for a guy, potentially giving up some day 2 capital for a guy who's going to be your third edge defender, I don't know if they'd want to go out and do that. I mean, if they want depth, sure, go out and do it. I mean, if they like the player, by all means, go out and get him. I mean, if you asked all of us fans, if you took a poll of literally every single Rams fan and asked them, hey, who would you rather have in the first round, Ty Simpson or Mekhi Lemon? I guarantee you 97% of that poll saying Mekhi Lemon. But you look at the coaches and you look at the front office, and they have a whole different game plan. They don't – the fans don't know what the coaches know. So I think if they went out and got Thibodeau, I would 100% support it, of course. But I don't know if it makes a whole lot of sense, honestly. You could maybe convince me otherwise. I really haven't done much research on a Thibodeau potential trade, but I'm gonna have to go no on this one. I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense personally.
And doing double duty here. Shout out to our friend of the show, been on LAFB a bunch. Kind of a late congratulations. I texted him personally, but this first time we're mentioning it on the show. Ryan Anderson of LAFB has also taken on some part-time duties over at California Post, covering the Rams, covering some sports as well. So shout out to Ryan. Rams trade rumors swirl after ESPN floats Kayvon Thibodeau deal. So we'll just kind of read this along. Again, this is kind of what you had seen as well. So kind of catching everybody else up on it. Rams already have one of the most dangerous young defensive fronts, but a hypothetical trade for Kayvon Thibodeau could turn into a strength and nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. ESPN's Seth Walder recently floated a deal that would send Thibodeau and a 2028 6th-round pick to LA for a 2028 3rd-rounder. On paper, it looks like what Walder called a rich-get-richer move. In reality, it may solve one of the Rams' sneakiest roster concerns, which is depth. I don't think edge depth is a problem, but it would make it a lot better. The top floor players accounted for nearly 60% of the team's total defensive line snaps over the season, one of the highest concentrations in football. While Jared Verse and Byron Young were highly productive, the lack of pass rush production became noticeable late in games. So yeah, adding some depth could hopefully take care of that. Thibodeau's stats over the last 2 years are not like the greatest in the world, but we also know the Giants have not been great. They've added some depth on the defensive line, but his sack totals over the last few years, right here. His rookie year, 2023, he had 11 and a half, and that was by far his best. He's gone down every year, 5.5 and 20. Why is this all jumbled? Oh, because it went highest first. I'm stupid. I'm sorry. 2023 was his highest with 11 and a half, but since then, 5.5 in 2024, 2.5 last year. Games played though, injury. That's like kind of a big knock on him. It's like when he's there, he can be good, and he's got all the athletic potential in the world. He's big as fuck. I'm a big fan of Kayvon Thibodeau, but it's the injury thing. How much of it is happening because it's MetLife? How much of it is just a thing with him? But if they do want to move off someone because they are kind of in a soft rebuild with Harbaugh there, I don't think it's going to take them that long to be like a semi-decent team. I think they'll get like 6 to 8 wins this year. But for that price, I'm going to keep it real. Why not? I'm a yay on this one. I do think he hasn't been utilized the best. I think defensively, the Giants have been shit the last few years. If right now it is a great time to buy low because of his sack totals, but if the Rams like something out of his tool bag, I think somebody here mentioned it. Another club in the bag. That's what it is. You're not like giving up a third round sounds crazy, but that's somebody that you know is going to instantly get a lot of snaps. He's going to drop that 60% concentration number of the starters at the edge down a bunch. So that way they're fresher. You get more verse and BY in the playoffs and in the postseason. And like the upside is you possibly replace Byron Young. Let's say you can't reach a deal. Kayvon Thibodeau, I think he's a former first rounder, right?
I think so.
Let me see. Thibodeau draft. Anybody know at the top of your head? He was the third edge player taken in the draft, number 5 overall pick. Wow. So he'd be very similar to Emmanuel Forbes type situation. Let's say it does cost a third rounder, but you're getting a 6th back, so you're getting something back. I don't know, man. I think, yeah, he costs 15 mil. He's on his 5th-year option. Depending how you cut it, like someone like that, you're probably working something where I would assume they're going to take some of his contract. I don't think you can just unload the entire thing if they're a rookie. It was very similar to with Emmanuel Forbes, where the Rams weren't really on the hook for a lot, even though he was a first-round pick as well. And then they declined his fifth year option. So does need to be paid, but let's say at his best, the 11.5 sack season, let's say that's his best, and he's a veteran, he's not a rookie. Like, is a third rounder really that much for a guy like that, for an edge rusher? Did I convince you at all, or are you still staying nay?
I mean, you made it sound like it'd make a lot more sense than I originally thought, and that's mainly because I didn't do a whole lot of research on it. I'm going to say on the side of no, mainly because one, there is some injury concern there. How much of it is MetLife? Don't know. The Giants have been good on defense. They haven't sucked completely. Their offense has been kind of egregious, but yeah, I think you could get a younger guy with that 3rd round pick, and I think I think you could just, those resources that you'd be giving up in that 3rd round pick could go somewhere else. I do like the player though. But I don't know. I wouldn't be mad if we traded for him. It's not like it doesn't make sense to me, and I'd be mad if it happened. It'd be more like I don't know if they're gonna do it or not, and I would like it if it did happen because I would. So I am gonna stay no, mainly because just the stuff you'd give up and kind of just the injury concern. I don't know if they'd want to give up a 3rd-round pick for a guy with injury concerns. And I think he's had. I thought I heard something about him having like a little locker room issue. It's not like blown out of proportion. But
Let's see.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna hit the bathroom real quick.
Oh, all good. All good. I'll drop you down here.
I'll be quick here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you guys all make valid points as well. Mofo does a good little side comment. I think the Rams deal will be fun for fans and fun for the players playing in it. I definitely agree. He is going to need to be paid. Why would we not pay for BY? It's not that they don't want to or wouldn't. It's just going to come down to what the production says, and how they feel about him and what they're potentially setting up for 2027. Because what if he has only 4 sacks this year? But what if he has 16? It's such a huge range that I don't think they pay him before the year because of it. And also we've looked at common players that just got signed. That is potentially $100 million contract. And I don't know in the reality with as much salary cap gymnastics as you can do, can you pay for BY at $100 million and also Jared Verse potentially $100 million because he's gonna get outpaid, out earn BY. I think just off name and draft position alone, let alone performance. It's just too many guys to pay where it does make me sit and question. It's not a guarantee if they'll pay him. At least that's in my brain. But yeah, Kamal says I will deal with any number of contract headaches for a home win this year. Welcome back, Roon. Yeah, same. I agree. And then also last point, you want to keep your best players fresh and available for the 4th quarter. Someone like Thibodeau would help that. And I couldn't find any drama on him except for just disagreeing about like his asking price, especially with guys like Abdul Carter. Probably not going to get paid the most by them. And then somebody else mentioned, even though Harbaugh, new coach, defensive coordinator, what edge rushers had immense success under Harbaugh the last few years in Baltimore? They have other positions that are phenomenal. Their secondary can be really good. They have phenomenal linebackers. Interior, they always have a big name. Edge rushers have been a little bit lacking last few years. Harbaugh hasn't gotten the most out of some guys. So, anyways, Mudeep said, "Did you get a refill? Or you didn't get a refill? Still,
I did not. I actually regret getting a whole thing of water because just had to pee right then. Thank you for muting my mic right there. I was literally about mid sip and I was like,
the second I see you grab it, I'm just grab. I forgot I can mute other people when I'm the host. That's pretty nice.
Thank you for right there.
Yeah. So if you say something stupid, I'm just gonna mute you because I disagree.
Yeah. Sweet.
All right. So 2 names we've gone through. I feel like AJ Brown was like mostly nay from most people. Kayvon Thibodeau. People agree just on depth. They're not really sold on the name. It seems like from the chat. Who you got next that you want to talk about?
I think we don't have any more trade targets, more free agents. Yeah.
Yeah, more free agents.
Let's start out with a former Ram. A lot of people might have forgotten about this player. He actually was a Ram, and then he actually ended up. He was a whiner for a minute. Not great. I actually was at a 49er game. I know. I'm sorry, guys. Got free tickets, and I was forced to go. So whatever.
Football's football.
Yay or nay on Leonard Floyd? Now, Leonard Floyd is a player I like. I like Leonard Floyd. I don't know how you feel about Leonard Floyd. Coming out of Atlanta, of course, Atlanta. Kind of low-key. Oh, hell no.
No.
Nope. We did not include him in this slideshow here, and for good reason too. But no, Leonard Floyd. I'm pretty sure he would be playing the edge position. Yeah.
Yeah, he'd beat edge. I think he'd be, if they wanted to sign him. You're looking at him being starting as a situational pass rusher. I don't know how similar his system is from what Raheem was doing in Atlanta that last year. There were some like slightly different variations. I know he spent some time in Chicago, like you said, in San Francisco as well. But veteran, you're going to get what you're going to get. Like, you know what's there. So if they do want somebody to be, hey, come in on third downs, give Verse a breather, go in mid-second quarter, give these guys a breather. Having him across from Josiah Stewart, I kind of like it. Let me look up what his potential number is. Yeah, anything more on him that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I would look at it as just a less expensive kind of depth position. It's kind of like Thibodeau, but not as good, obviously, and just cheaper. And you obviously look at him; he has the familiarity with LA, which is why I think this does make a little more sense than Thibodeau. But no, he'd be that perfect kind of situational guy, like you said, come in on third down, give Verse BY a breather. I would love it, honestly. Seeing him back in horns, potentially competing for his second Super Bowl ring in LA. That'd be great. That'd be just nice to see. I always like seeing former Rams come back. But yeah, I don't know what his number would look like, but I think he'd be pretty cheap. So I'm gonna have to go yay on this one. I think this is. I wouldn't say it's a no-brainer to do, but I definitely think it makes a lot of sense. And I think if they are looking at him, why not just go and get Leonard Floyd, man? What are you doing?
Yeah, I gotta look at what he did, because the jump from his Niners year. So his last year, like Super Bowl year, he was making $2 million. The year after, he made 1.5 with us. When he was at the Bills, under that 1.1, 1.2, and then the jump was 10 million with Atlanta. I don't know if that's homie hookup, because reuniting with Raheem.
Raheem.
Yeah. So now I'm kind of curious what his numbers were.
If guys are available right now, they're not going to be asking for too much, and if they are, that's kind of like pretty rare.
That's not so. June 1st. I think a lot of guys might be waiting for
That
June 1st
true.
because, like, hey, the way these conversations work is very much like, I don't know how else to equate it to real life, but they're on, like, their agents telling them, hey, I might have, boom, boom, boom team, but they want to see, like, no, keep it real with them. They're like, hey, but the Niners are going to wait to see if this trade goes through, or like, hey, yeah, the Cowboys are going to sign you. They're just waiting for this other deal to happen. So a lot of guys are on ice knowingly until then. Let's look at his production, though. I hate when sites have, like, the videos pop up automatically. It's so annoying. All right. So the good news, if you look at his track record of games played, early on in his year, we started in Chicago, missed a few games here and there, missed no games as a Ram, 16, 17, and 17.
Wow.
Missed no games in 2023. Missed no games 2024. You got to mute and step away. Yeah. All right, we'll take him down for a second. Let you do your thing. Give us a thumbs up whenever you're ready to roll.
I always got people bothering me, man.
There you go. I know how it is. And then missed 2 games last year. That jump, though, let's see, sacks. He had 10.5 in Buffalo in 23, 8.5 in San Francisco, forced fumble, 42 tackles. Yeah, I mean, you put up 8.5 sacks, like, yeah, that's warranted. Pass defended, no interceptions. And then I don't think he lived up to that. 19 total tackles, only 3.5 sacks. I don't even remember if he played against us that week as well. But I would say anywhere between like the $5 to $10 million range would be what he's probably making. If the high end is 10, if the low end is 5, do you have a line where you're like, that's too much?
I think anything over 10 mil, probably even less than that, I would say would be too much for me. Considering he is kind of just a depth piece, you're kind of looking at, of course, Tutu Atwell made $10 million last year, didn't really do a whole lot, and that really, that was kind of just like a waste of money. So, I think spending to
Yeah.
you just said, yeah, exactly. Paying him a lot for a little is not really the way to go around things, especially when you have guys to pay like Puka, Kobe, guys like that. So I mean, if the price is right, go and do it. But if he's asking for too much, I would say no. So really, I would say yes. I don't know what the contract would look like, but I would say yeah on that. I would if the price is low, go and do that. But if it's not, then don't.
Yeah, I'm a tentative yay on this one. Similar to what everybody else is saying in here. If it's like 5 or 6 mil, like if you're asking him to not start and be a backup, the most that you're probably going to get is a really inflated 8-9 sack season. If you're playing halftime, then you're playing, you're getting half stats. Like he's not going to be a 15, double-digit sack guy on the Rams, but you get some quality like game closing times. You get, hey, go out there and get a sack in the fourth quarter, like get an extra possession. I think this guy is absolutely worth anywhere between the $5 to $1 million range. I think anything less than that is would not be a good look. I think it's a little disrespectful to a guy you want to rush the quarterback. So if you're going to offer him like 1 or 2, don't do it. But yeah, a little bit higher. Kamal says, just to get a feeling from somebody in the chat, same feeling as Tibbs. He comes cheap enough, and that changes things. So, okay. I get it. Everyone's about their money. Why you guys pocket watching? Is that what we do in LA? We pocket watch like this? We got some haters, man. I want to I'll pick this one. I want to stick with the theme of former Rams. And staying on defense, it's a name that I don't think he'll leave Washington, but it's at least an interesting conversation because let's be real. Some people really want to upgrade the linebacker 2 position. Bobby Wagner, underrated, still underrated. He's got some juice left. How much is he going to cost is probably the big question. The same thing here with him. Do you think that this would actually be a benefit? Because they got a veteran presence in Landman. Do you need more of that with the linebacker crew? Like what's your case for this one?
See, I'm gonna start out with this. I don't even know if he's like gonna play football next year. I have no clue what he's doing. But Bobby Wagner is one of my favorite players in the league currently. That's not a Ram. I've always liked him. I liked him while he was in Seattle, so that's saying something. But no, and loved him even more when he was in Horns, even if it was just for that one not so memorable season. But no, I think he'd be a great fit too, because he'd be kind of just an extra veteran presence in that linebacker room that kind of just needs it. That linebacker room is pretty young when you have his name is totally escaping me. When you have Spates, when you have Sean Dolak, and then I think the linebacker for it now, since you don't have Troy Reader, is UDFA out of Alabama. I have no clue how to pronounce his name. Something. I think it's like something Hill Green. Nikhil.
Yeah, Nikhil Hill Green. Damn, I forgot about the UDFAs. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, but yeah, I think he'd be adding a lot of experience to that young linebacker room, and especially a guy like Bobby Wagner, who has always been known to be a sound tackler. Leaded the Rams in tackles, I'm pretty sure, the year he was in Horns. Just because I love the player so much, I'm just gonna go say yay. It's kind of just one of those things where I'd literally be blind to anything they do. Even if they overpay him, I'd just be like, yes, he's back in Horns. I literally do not care. Love it. Curious to see what you think about that, though.
I will say I'm wildly impressed by the year he had in Washington. That doesn't form my opinion, but I do got to give hats off to a dude that in year, what? How many years is this now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Year 15, he put up 162 tackles with 79 of them being solo. I mean, that does say something. I'm always looking at what's your total versus your assisted. He had a lot of assisted tackles. It doesn't tell the whole tape. It's dependent on scheme and all this other shit. But I also look at passes defended and interceptions. He had 2 INTs this year. He had 6 passes defended. It's nowhere near his top. 4 passes defended. And yeah, I would say nay on my end. Mostly because I just don't see, like, at what point is veteran leadership enough? Like, you bring in the corners, right? Like, those guys have veteran leadership. They've been back-to-back Super Bowls. Like, they were on the precipice of a three-peat. Takes a shit ton of like veteran leadership to be able to do that and knock that out. And Miguel, you gonna make me do this right in the middle? Right in the middle? You bastard. We got another super chat of $9.99 from Meg Guito. He's one of our day one A1s, one of my closest friends, if not my best friend, my brother. Yeah, love what you do on this channel. Go Rams. We also converted him. He's a convert.
Really?
Yeah, we got him. Yeah, love you, Miguel. But yeah, the veteran leadership, I'm almost at a point where, yeah, like exactly. Kamal Kobe just beat me to it. I think we have enough. It's more about talent, skill, and then I'll say depth. I think Bobby Wagner's would be a great depth piece if Landman was younger. If Landman was like he's got it, but he's just not quite there yet. Like, I don't think that's his problem. His problem was the consistency in the coverage. I just don't think Bobby Wags has the speed to cover anymore. Like, am I wrong in thinking that? Am I tripping?
I don't think you're very wrong. It's
old. He's my age.
Just the fact he's kind of old is the only thing that would drive me away from saying yeah. But I mean, I love Bobby Wagner. I would love it if he was in horns again, but I don't know. It really,
this is a personal pick for you.
Really just depends. Is it personal?
Yeah, is it a personal one? Like, you love him. It's okay.
I would say it's a personal pick. For sure. He's because he's a free agent. He's like Ray said, he's a great tackler. He's always been a great tackler. But the thing is, what they lacked at the linebacker position this year was in coverage, and that's kind of just my biggest gripe about Spates, if it's not the tackling. So I don't know. I would love it, but if it doesn't make sense, then I mean, I guess we don't have to add Bobby Wagner. I mean, whatever. I would love it. But
I didn't know. Was our stream the were we supposed to decide for the Rams? With I didn't know that was what we were doing. My bad.
No, yeah, I was actually on the phone with Sean yesterday, and he was like, "Well, maybe you just have to let us know by tomorrow."
Convince Tuna, and we'll do it. That's what it was.
Yeah. Did I do a good job?
No, I'm saying
no.
I think,
didn't convince you.
Yeah, the whole chat saying nah to that one.
Apparently, I can't motivate anybody to make a sandwich. That's what I've heard before.
Stupid. I'm gonna combine the next two because they're playing the same position. Let's change it up a little bit. This next set, remember, guys, every name we drop, just give us your first reaction. Give us a poop emoji. Give us a touchdown. Give us thumbs up, thumbs down. Speaking of wide receiver 3, right? You could argue there's 2 things that these 2 guys are both really good at, but they have similar knocks. And we're talking about Tyreek Hill and Stephon Diggs, 2 wide receivers, 2 different kinds of wide receivers. Well, we didn't even say it yet. You already did it. Shut up.
Wow.
What the hell? But I mean, it's probably what he'll say to this one. Tyreek Hill is more of a speedster. I know he's coming off injuries, so who knows what his top end speed is, if he's got any left in it, any juice in the tank. Stephon Diggs had a surprisingly good year, I think, in New England. He did better than I thought he would with Drake May in that offense. Obviously good enough to get him all the way to the Super Bowl. Not saying these are a package deal, but both these guys, if you want to consider either one of them, the reason I mushed them together is because they do have the potential for the shit that a lot of people are bagging on AJ Brown about. Real drama, real actual stuff going on. There's been a bunch of almost verified stuff, I would say, on Stephon Diggs, dating back to Minnesota. out of the two, I'm more preferential towards Diggs just because, similar to you, he's been one of my favorite players in the league, non-Rams wise, dating back to his Maryland days. I've been a day one Diggs believer. I'm preferential towards Diggs in this case because of what he can do. I'm more worried about Tyreek Hill being the actual, I don't want to say diva, but I don't know if he wants to do a role like that where he's playing, 30 snaps a game, 35 snaps a game. Stephon Diggs, I think not having an injury he's coming off of, I think he got cleared of his recent court case that he had going on with some family going on, and just a bigger body overall that I think would fit more into what the Rams do offensively. But let me hear what you got, man. What do you think about either one of these? Who do you want to start with?
I'll start off with Tyreek Hill, and barring any kind of last minute convincing from you, because I'm very easily convinced. That's kind of one of my weaknesses. But yeah, it's not good. But I'm gonna go on record, and I'm gonna say this: Tyreek Hill makes absolutely no sense at all.
Okay.
All. One, he's kind of undersized, and that's hasn't been a problem in the past for him. No, but it's really like, look what you were able to do with Tutu Atwell this year. Like they were. I remember hearing stuff about this time last year about Tutu Atwell, and Sean McVay was like, "Oh, we're gonna get him the ball more. I promise you, we're gonna get him the ball more." And then look what you do. Of course, I'm not saying Tutu Atwell is Tyreek Hill level, like, because he's not. But Tyreek Hill, yeah, he's far away from his best days, especially coming off that freak injury. That's not great.
ACL injury in September. That's what it was.
Yes, so that's
I'm assuming
not great.
he's good. I'm assuming he's good to go though. It's in September. Patrick Mahomes is back in 4 months. I'm sure
he'd be good to go. But the thing is, I'm already concerned about Diggs stuff, but Tyreek Hill off the field concerns. Like we dealt with our fair share of off the field stuff with Puka, but if we had Tyreek Hill in Los Angeles, no, I don't even want to begin to think about that. Do I respect the player? I respect the player. Do I respect the person? Not so much. That's why I'm gonna say no, is because of the off the field stuff and him coming off the ACL. Like his leg was bending away. It's not supposed to bend. That's not good. So, wouldn't really like if we got him. Kind of like, that's kind of unlike every other player on this list. Like if they went out and got him, I'd be like, okay. But if we went and got out Hill, I think Hill would be the only player I'm actually like kind of upset that we got him.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it'd be like here's a conspiracy. What if we got him just to sell more jerseys, like make money off jerseys? Like that's I feel like the only thing he'd be useful for is selling jerseys. Selling jerseys and having like 4 kids during the season.
It reminds me a little bit of the Deshaun Jackson. Almost to a T. Maybe. because when you come off a knee injury, like everyone's body reacts differently. Like what if he's not himself anymore and he's lost a step? And so, yeah, you do put yourself in a situation where he's a one-trick pony where, hey, go run a 9 route, make it happen for us. And then you're released mid-season because of disagreements with the coaching, whatever it is. Let me phrase it this way. Let me change it up a little bit. Somebody beat me to the point here. I got a second slide for you. Make this a little more intriguing. Let's take Hill out of it because I think everyone is just a clear. No one wants Tyreek Hill in LA fan wise.
Hell no.
What if it was between these two instead?
I don't know. Deebo Samuel's, he's a different archetype than Stephon Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
Deebo Samuel, I mean, he's a big boy. Like he's gonna. I almost, when Puka was first in the league, how I would describe Puka Nacua to my parents who are Niner fans, I'm like, he's literally Deebo Samuel but better, and they're like, "What? You think he's better than Deebo?" I'm like, "Yes." And I've never really liked Deebo. I don't really hate him anymore because he's not a Niner. But when he was a Niner and he was having those like monster kind of years, he pissed me off, man. Like he was one of my least favorite players in the league, and especially it was because he was a big personality. He was one of those guys who was really just kind of all over the place. Like, hey, look at me, I'm Deebo Samuel, and that's kind of just one of the reasons I disliked him. And it wasn't just because he was a 49er. I feel like if he was the way he was on like any other team, I still wouldn't have liked him. But now he's kind of slowed down. He's had some competition. He's still, I mean, he's not that 2021 Deebo Samuel. That was literally a nightmare to have to deal with, especially when you see him 2 times, even that 3 times a year in that Super Bowl year. But you know, Kamal, I wouldn't say he doesn't have it anymore, but he's past his prime for sure. And I think it would be a depth piece, and it would definitely, I think it'd be fun to kind of piss off Kyle Shanahan a little bit. Be like, hey, we're out here with your old side piece, man. How do you feel about that?
So the reason Ray says he's definitely lost a step or two. I think, I don't know. I know he's gained a little bit more muscle than his earlier days. So I don't know if that makes him slower, if it just makes him stronger, whatever it is. But last year, in a down year, he had 72 receptions, 172 yards, only 5 touchdowns, averaging 10.1. When normally, on average, anywhere from like 600 to 800 or 900 with the Niners. Yeah, his best year was that 2021 year, 1,400 yards. He's a yak monster. And so some context here, because I'm going to make some arguments for Deebo Samuel. He's one of the ones I personally would like to see him more than Stephon Diggs. So for me personally, I'm going to go nay to Diggs because I don't think he adds an element that would intrigue the Rams enough. Like the fact that he's a route technician, this and that, I think they're willing to gamble with their guys in-house. If you're going to go out and get a wide receiver at this stage, you want somebody that has an X factor that can add something a little bit different for you, not just a target, another body for Stafford. And I think you can get enough out of him where it's like, hey, you're not starting, you're getting those 30, 40 snaps, per game. Who's going to make the most out of it? Who can pop off a screen and take it to the house? Who can take a 5-yard slant and muscle his way and not just get a first down, but bring energy and bring momentum back to your side the same way Puka Nacua does in those same type of plays? How much of a fucking nightmare would that be for defenses? Like, oh, who caught the ball this time? Puka. Who caught the ball this time? Deebo. Like, for DBs, that's a fucking annoying thing to deal with over and over and over again. I think there's enough there. And then the last caveat, just because he was there a little bit and is somewhat familiar with him, Cliff Kingsbury's in town. He's in-house. He had him for a year.
Forgot about
He's
that.
familiar. He's familiar with Deebo. So I think Deebo just still has that X factor. I don't really buy he's out of shape, is this and that. He's going into year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's going into his 8th year. You're not at year 10 yet. I think he's young enough where he's still got enough. Was he 30? He'll be 30. Yeah, he can go play wide receiver 3, be a niche guy, and somehow rattle off 7 to 8 touchdowns for the Rams as wide receiver 3. I'm good with it. What do you guys think? Kamal says, thumbs up, Deebo. Seems like he could beat out Witt and Monk for wide receiver 3. I agree. Ray says, yeah, and this part too. Why not? They keep doing it to us. They keep re-signing guys. They keep signing guys. Yeah, fuck it. Let's just go get the 49ers. Let's wrap up the Niners. So I love that. Let's pick it up a little bit. Who do you got next for me, man?
I think we're down to those 2 corners.
Yeah, corners. Let's finish up with corners.
All right, we'll start off with.
You want to combine them or do one by one?
Let's combine them.
Combine them. Okay. Go ahead, start off. I'll pull it up right now.
All right, so we have 2 corners. One, I would say yes, and the other, I'd kind of be on the fence, kind of closer to Tyreek Hill, and I'd say hell no. It would be funny if the hell no player happened though, because of old rivalry concerns. But here we go. Next 2 players, our last 2 players on this list. Wait for they to come up. L'Jarius Sneed and Marshawn Lattimore. So we'll start off with start off negative so we can get into the positive later. Marshawn Lattimore, father time is calling, Marshawn. I mean, come on. Not a great year with Washington, but what I alluded to earlier, rivalry concerns. Guess who just joined San Francisco?
Mike Evans.
That'd be Mike Evans. And if you didn't know, Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore have a history of literally beating the shit out of each other. So that'd be
straight up fist fights.
That'd be fun. When it comes to on the field stuff, Mike Evans pretty much literally sunned Marshawn Lattimore in every meeting. So that's really not great to see. I'm fully against Marshawn. I can't, man. Yeah, I know I said I wouldn't be fully against any other player but Tyreek Hill, but I'm fully against Marshawn.
Yeah, and then for context about him being potentially washed, he was traded for in 2024. He joined Commanders over from New Orleans. That year he finished with, let's see, what do you have? He had 5 passes defended, 0 interceptions. This last year he played in, 9 games only? 9 games a year before, 10 games a year before. So he's missed a lot of games. Like dating back, the last season he played a full season was 2021. He played 16. Since then, he's played 7, 10, 7, 9, 9. So at that point, do stats even matter if your best availability is not ready? Is it a injury thing with him that's keeping him all fucked up, or is it just skill too?
I think so. I think it's just his age, and it's skill, injury, just his age keeping him off the field there. And I don't even want to talk about it anymore. I don't think
moving on.
I don't think any convincing could make me want Marshawn. So
the way he was tweeting, I think a few months too, kind of signaled to me that he's being a little bit more free. Like he's not really worried about where he's going. So we'll move on. L'Jarius Sneed, you guys did see after Watson and McDuffie came here, there was a little bit of back and forth on Twitter about, hey man, open up, come join the Kansas City Rams. Currently sitting as a free agent, right? Yeah, free agent out of Tennessee. He might be a little expensive because his last deal was mega big. But what's going on with Sneed, man?
I think I would love it. Of course, getting the familiarity in there. 2-time Super Bowl champions, McDuffie, Watson, and Sneed. They were the chemistry would be literally off the charts. But I think if we did sign him, I think the league would literally make us one of our alternates be red and yellow.
The Cleveland Rams. The Cleveland Rams.
Yeah, I think they would literally mandate that, and it'd be so funny if it did.
What if that's the one? If there are 2 New Jerseys coming from the teaser, what if the red and yellow is?
Oh God!
They're gonna wear them when they play the Niners.
I would have to stay off every social media until it calmed down. There would Instagram and Twitter would literally become a war zone if we wear red and yellow next year.
Oh yeah. Sorry to cut you off though. You were saying?
But kind of just getting back into that. I would like him, and especially because he would be more of a depth piece. He really hasn't been much of a depth piece in his career yet. I was really critical of him last year, especially when we played Tennessee, because I saw him. He's been really grabby as of late, and you saw that. I think he definitely had one holding call in that game against us, against Devontae. I think he had a second one. I'm not sure about that though. But he's been really grabby, especially when he has to face those 1s and 2s.
So to add context as to why, maybe, mind you guys, we're talking about a depth piece, not Sneed, the CB1, but 2024, his first year with the Titans, he did suffer a quad strain in week 6. He went on IR. It kind of lingered. He only played 5 games that year. Last year, ahead of the season, he had a knee cleanup procedure. He had ongoing quad rehab. He missed all of OTAs. That's why he was a little bit rusty at the start. And then after appearing in the first 7 games last year, he did suffer another quad injury in week 7, placed in IR. He ended his whole season. So he's got some lingering stuff going on. Again, is it when I see those things, I'm just adding context to your argument. if we're gonna find a silver lining, when I see those kinds of things about degenerative knee and lingering issues, some of that is a little bit of the Jordan Tyson stuff where it's like, oh, did he come back too soon? Is he rushing it? And I kind of believe that might be the case there. I got to talk to our buddy over at Titans Up podcast and see what the deal is. But for that veteran leadership that is needed in a DB room, we talked about the defense in general, but on the back end, it would be good to have leadership depth. We got to contextualize his injuries. Like, I don't think they're just, he's got a, bad goods, spoiled goods. I think it's maybe he came back too soon. Maybe the rehab just sucked. We don't know, but continue. Sorry.
Yeah, I wasn't really aware of his injury history until you brought that up. So it's kind of interesting. I would like it because of the familiarity, but of course now kind of just bringing up the injury concerns, definitely something to worry about. But honestly, he'd be a corner 3, maybe even corner 4 if they truly believe in Forbes that much. So why the hell not? Go out and do it. Reunite the boys, man.
Yeah, it'd be more of a boys pool of like, it would, if they signed him, right? Sorry, I'm hitting the wrong buttons. If they did sign him, what that does tell me is there is already a good sense of trust in Jimmy Lake, Jalen Watson, and Trent McDuffie, because no one else is going to be pushing hard for what is on paper from Snead, at least here in Rams camp, I believe. But if McDuffie and Watson, like, they're not just going to say, oh, yeah, go get my boy just for my boy's sake. Like, they want to win a Super Bowl. They're here to win a Super Bowl. And so if they're saying our boy L'Jarius is going to help us do that, trust us, maybe they have the inside track on the injury stuff or on like what he's like or what he can add. I believe that that's the case. Yeah, at least that, not that. And then Ray, he saw the action earlier. He got a little jealous. He wanted to chip in. He wanted to help out a little bit. Another super chat, $1.99 from Ray. Thank you, Ray. One of our OG original members. Appreciate you. Appreciate the love. We'll leave that up for a little bit as you get back to L'Jarius Sneed, Sir Roon.
I don't know what else to add. Honestly, I think it just makes sense. I think for the locker room vibes, for just the overall just coolness of it, like, hey, 2-time Super Bowl champion corner trio reuniting in LA, competing for a World Series. Not a World Series. What am I?
Dude, we got the Dodgers game on, bro?
No, I don't even think they're on tonight. But no.
So we're going.
I think they should just go out and do it.
So
honestly,
we're going no.
I don't know how you think.
No to Lattimore. We're going yes.
No to Lattimore. Actually, not no to Lattimore. I'm thinking more of like a hell no to Lattimore personally. But no. I'm liking
right
Snead. I'm hating Lattimore.
Yeah. Right there with you. I think for the right price, and that's the common theme I'm seeing with all these. Depends on the right price, and it depends on bringing in the right guy with the right attitude. Nothing to do about potential drama, potential like, oh, are they a locker room fit? You guys know, I say it a long time. If your culture is that good, it doesn't matter if they're a fit or not. As long as they're a good person, they will fit. Like, your culture should be the bigger factor than what their previous cultures were. Bring in the guy. If you believe in him, he'll fit right in. No problem. That's why OBJ worked. That's why Von Miller worked. At least I believe so. So, yeah. Okay. So just kind of recapping from the whole thing. I think we hit everybody. What did we say about Bobby Wagner? We said nay.
I said yay. You said nay.
Oh, me and everybody else said nay. We like Leonard Floyd for the potential. Like I said, if the price is right, backup, emergency pass rusher. You got some DB help. We'd love Snead if he was for the right price and he gave the homie hookup there. Wide receiver help, maybe on Stephon Diggs. I push for Debo. I think that's the right one. And then obviously you got guys like AJ Brown, Kayvon Thibodeau. I know there was one more wide receiver. I don't think he's got it anymore. So I'm just gonna leave him off there. We were gonna bring up D-Hop. I think he's one season away from I think he's on the wrong side of his health and his production.
It was kind of just a fun name to throw in there, but I mean, Yeah, he doesn't really have it anymore. He'd be just a depth piece and probably an expensive depth piece of that. I don't even know if he could beat out Jay Witt or Mump for a wide receiver 3 spot. I don't think it's crazy to say that. I think a lot of people might look at that and be like, well, when he was on the Texans, I'm like, well, we're talking about now, dog. Like, he's almost out of the league.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool to get him a ring, but I mean,
yeah.
Not much to say about him.
So there we go. For those of you that want just football and what's the Rams on the field and the guys in the helmets, the show's over. We got one more topic left. We're running long today because there was a lot of shit happening. But we're going to get into the Kroenke stuff in Inglewood here for about like 10, 15 minutes. But if you're going to tune out because you're done with the actual football, make sure you give Roon a follow, hit subscribe, turn on the stuff, and we'll see you guys on Monday for the next stream. But yeah, so class is in session. There is some stuff going on in the business side. Where is my deal? There he is. Kroenke and Inglewood spat. You may have seen a headline pop up recently from the likes of, I think ESPN reported on it as well. Let me just find it here. So Stan Kroenke, man. Yeah, Sports Business Journal. Was that who I saw it from? I guess we'll use PFT again, even though I'm not the biggest fan of their work all the time. Yeah, so we'll go to PFT again. If you guys don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, the headline reads as such. According to PFT, Stan Kroenke moved the Rams to SoFi Stadium without a public contribution. He now wants $400 million from Inglewood. Sounds very, typical billionaire. Sounds very, I'm here to steal the money from all the public people, from all the citizens. I don't think that's the case. Kamal says, Kroenke is broke. Rams relocating to Cleveland. I don't want to bring an Omu Adib is going to come in here with some anti-capitalist stuff. My brother. But this is not the full story. You guys know I make zero light of wanting to defend any fucking billionaire. I don't care that this billionaire runs my favorite football team. At the end of the day, for me, it's separate. The business side, the capitalist side, and the guys on the field. Those 53 that put on horns and we talk about the plays and the X's and O's, completely separate entities for me. When we're talking about the business side, I could give two fucks who owns this team. I want them to be a good person, but in this case, right now, it's Stan Kroenke. We're going to assume billionaires do billionaire things. That's funny. Les Snead is in the back. I feel like that's a photo that I've seen recognized of Les Snead that we use sometimes. I wonder if it was taken the same day. I even commented, this is half-assed reporting. User resources look deeper into the mayor's inclusion in all this. Is Kroenke an angel here? No. But Mayor Butts has had a hand in this, equally fucking over his constituents. So, shout out to two urban girls. Independents, like us here. If you like me, you trust me, we're going to trust the boots on the ground, the people with the real sources. I do love everything that they're doing out there in Inglewood. I'm not going to read the entire thing, but there are some really good information. Welcome back, Roon. There's some really good information about the details of what's happening. Porn K, where isn't the amount of money he still owed STL? I'll have to double check that off the top of. I'm not exactly sure. You're not muted, by the way, just in case. There you go. Let's see. Inglewood taxpayers owe Los Angeles Rams. This is back in December. So at the time, it was $100 million under the SoFi Stadium deal approved by the Inglewood Council in 2015. The reason I pulled up the older one is because they have been actually on this for at least, I want to say, the better part of a year at this point. So here's a good one. Documents reviewed for the AP report were submitted to officials in Inglewood. They say that if annual tax revenue to the city from the completed project exceeds $25 million as expected, the devs, including a company controlled by the owner of the St. Louis Rams, would be entitled to reimbursements for funds invested in streets, sewers, parks, and other projects deemed dedicated to the public. So I start there because that's a little bit of where I think the fight is happening. It wasn't just, oh, hey, we're just moving, over to LA and City of Inglewood, don't worry about nothing. We'll take care of everything. And you guys get all this money. In no world should anyone have ever thought that that was the case. Like, no, that's ridiculous. Mute him. There we go. In no world should that be your thought process. From what I'm reading here, basically, once $25 million is earned, right, revenue to the city, once that threshold is met, they will start paying back excess on top of that back to Kroenke, back to whoever is the payers, right? If they made $24,999,990.99, they don't legally, according to this, owe anything. Roon, if you're watching backstage, just give us a thumbs up whenever you're ready to join back again. All right. Welcome back. So
got some Chick-fil-A delivered.
Ooh. You can at least tell us, bro? You couldn't give us some? Goddamn. Okay. The problem with that point is you've got some shit Mayor Butts did with the advertising billboards that everyone loves so much. You know, they don't look shitty and gaudy at all. That was kind of done in a really weird way. You have multiple law enforcement contracts that the city of Inglewood has entered in following that initial agreement with Kroenke. And then there's other earnings as well that they talk about in here where people are asking, like, okay, the math is not adding up. Like, if 25 million was the threshold, just from the outside, what it looks like, that there's clearly at least 1 year where there's more than 25 million recouped by the city to where that triggers paying back Kroenke and company. The problem is, it sounds like people are asking for receipts, and Mayor Butts is like, trust us. And at the end of the day, it just comes down to, oh, sorry guys, the people got to foot the bill. And the part that pisses me off the most is anytime it comes down to the people, the taxpayers having to pay. Because right now, from what I've seen, they're increasing, like they implemented the parking permit thing. Like, if you go in Inglewood, like, you're more likely to get a ticket parking in any residential because everything's permitted now. They've increased utilities. Now they're talking about a proposal to increase the garbage pickup cost. And what they cite all these things for are for infrastructure stuff that is supposed to be being paid for by the SoFi deal. And so it's like not making sense. You can't say, like, oh, we're not making enough money, but we've got money for all this other extra shit, which is bringing in revenue, but then you got to go tax the people more. Like, it's the math is not mathing. And then shout out to two urban girls. They've been ones that have, like, been on the front lines, like, talking about this for a long time. Let's go to a more recent one they had in January 18th, 2026, with some updated numbers, and we'll go through a good bit of this here. Let's see. Okay. The conflict is being driven by the same interests that helped make James Butts mayor in the first place. These are interests that invested millions of dollars into his campaign and those of the city council allies. At this point, regardless of the legal outcome, the only true losers in this dispute are it's always, what's my favorite phrase that I heard? Profits are privatized, losses are socialized, all the time. Like, I don't. That's why I don't care when people are like, oh, but the stock market, that doesn't got nothing to do with us. That's not for taxpayers. That's for, capital owners. So, I'm not a business expert, but it does not resemble shrewd business maneuvering to threaten questionable legal action against entities that are not only trying to find some more juicy stuff in here for you guys. Okay. City of Inglewood needs a serious internal and transparent examination of its local government. The safeguards designed to protect the public appear to have been ignored or outright disregarded. Yes. Declaring that no billionaire is above the law rings hollow. It was the mayor himself who welcomed Stan Kroenke with open arms to help create the very conditions that allow billionaires to influence and actively purchase. Let's see. We've got some more stuff in here. Okay. And then we probably should go over to PFT here. But yeah, without going through every single source that we found, it comes down to that is exactly that. Kroenke feels they're owed the $400 million. from things that like they've done around the city that were like they're keeping a tab. They're like, okay, you've made over 25 million each of these years. That excess is supposed to be getting paid back. And it's not just from the original deal of like, we spent all this money to come here. Why aren't you paying us back? A lot of that money, like the maintenance, not just immediately around SoFi, but I think past a specific boundary outside, like they're doing maintenance to Inglewood, stuff that was contractually agreed upon that will cover it. But after a certain point, like you are going to have to repay some of this because it is your city. Like they're fronting the money and it was sold to the taxpayers. It was supposed to be super nice, super awesome. It's fucked because even if Kroenke has a point legally to some of this, so does the city to a regard, because they're playing a little bit of a weird game where like hide the cash, it feels like. And unfortunately, the people of Inglewood are stuck in the middle. And it's not a good look no matter how you cut it for Kroenke. Like, bro, you're still rehabbing from the St. Louis move. I know a billionaire doesn't really give a shit about his public image, but for the team's image, if this is not handled in the right way that limits the impact negatively on the people, it's going to be even further uphill climbing for the Rams to grow a fan base without there being citizens right there in Inglewood saying we want Kroenke out. Like there's no amount of winning that can change your public perception. Go look at the Dodgers. I'm wearing a Dodgers hat. It's for fashion. Trust me. They're situated with the stadium being built, with the stuff with ice. Sure, they're going to keep winning. They're back-to-back World Series champions. There's a quiet segment of the Los Angeles community that you may not engage with, people watching this, but people who like are lifelong Dodgers fans are protesting, have not watched an inning since some of this stuff, since the ravine. Even more recently, like hell, my own girlfriend has sworn off, like she has not watched an inning of Dodgers baseball since the ice stuff. It's like these are real, like people want to see themselves and their community reflected positively through their sports, win or lose. And there's just some thresholds you don't cross. This, if the burden gets placed solely on the taxpayers, I have a huge problem with it. And I'm never going to be one that says like boycott the team, don't watch, because I'm watching football, I'm covering football. The football side is separate from the business side for me. But I'm going to be very loud as well about Kroenke. Like, fuck off. I don't care how many Super Bowls you bring to this team. You're not coaching it. You're not the GM. If your existence here is impacting the fans negatively in their pockets when it's already expensive as fuck to go to a game, let alone buy a t-shirt or a fucking jersey, that would be a last straw for me. I'm right there with Moody where I'm like, you got to go. Mayor Butts, already, I'm not a resident of Inglewood, but if I'm living in Inglewood, like I've wanted mayors out for less. A lot of you may see this guy's name on your ballots because you're voting for lieutenant governor. I'm not voting for Tubbs. Tubbs was the mayor of my city up north, and after the 2 years, I was like, get the fuck out. Like when you're just in it for yourself and the money, like but yeah, but he's a Democrat. Like I don't do all that shit. Like not to get super political, even more political on here. Yeah. Kamal says Kroenke is owed and being an ass. Butts owes money and is being an ass. Yeah. And you just add in that everyday people like you and me end up feeling that when it should not be. It's pretty bad. Mudeeb says don't vote for my share. One, I appreciate we have not really lost viewers despite us going into this part, so I do appreciate you guys. You don't got to agree with me at all. I hope that at least the facts come through a little bit clearer. We have folks like PFT or more so, welcome back, Run, or more so just hitting the billionaire bad type thing. So if you go to their article, it's very non-researched, and it's probably going to be that way from large media. They're either going to say, billionaire bad, or this is a non-story to protect one of their own. Yeah, PFT's story was just that, all this shit and all this money they've made, he still wants more. Yeah. Kroenke hadn't dumped so much of his own money into the project. The last part of the statement could be viewed as a suggestion that the Rams could leave the state. Again, it would be hilarious if they move back to St. Louis. I think they're too embedded here. There's too much real money put in to beautifying everything, and I don't think they're going anywhere. Yeah, they're putting this as just he's kind of being a little shady to get his money back. It's not the full story. We are going to have to rely on some like independent folks to keep going at this. And I've reached out to these journalists. I've reached out to 2 urban girls, waiting for a response back to my last DM, but I do want to help them out a little bit. See if we can get to the bottom of some things, maybe do some investigative journalism into the city of Inglewood, try to find some receipts, because the fans deserve it. But since you don't know anything about this, Roon, and a lot of this is new, and I don't want to say a lot of it's too big for you, because, being the age you are, like, maybe it's stuff you don't understand fully yet or grasp. Do you have any comments on this story, or like maybe stuff you heard?
I almost started dying laughing like 3 times because that fool's last name is Butts. That's the funny part. Inglewood is up to no good. You bet, no indeed. I love that song, man. Love me some Tupac. But no, that fool's last name is Butts. That's kind of like that thing I was like.
I can't.
But
I love. I've been hyping you as like, oh, content creator and professional, and then it's like his name's Butts.
I mean, that's funny. You're never too old for a butt joke. Come on.
All right, go ahead.
But it kind of, I like how you brought up the kind of the example of like the Dodgers ownership group, because the things that they've done, they haven't really catered to the fans. Like, sure, they'll have like I'll always see they'll have like Mexican Heritage Month, Ecuadorian, like all this stuff.
Yeah.
But they're not truly supporting the communities. They can do that. They can give them the stupid looking cheap jersey every year. But are they really supporting the community? Is that the thing? So I think if this does lead to some backfire in the Rams community, which I don't think it will, I think this is kind of just now coming out, and it's kind of just like, well, what could this be? It's gonna be fun. Like you summed it up perfectly.
Yeah. Hopefully this is something that just kind of goes away. That how I see it happening is you'll see some taxes increase on the people by way of, like they said, the garbage pickup, sewage, to help recoup some of those things. If they were smart, you would see, you know what? We're not doing that. We're not doing that, because I already know I'm going to lose some followers if I say some things. But anyways, you do have a point. You are a little bit more woke than I realized, talking about, when it comes to the Latino community as well. But, I put out a video last year talking about, when the ice raids were starting, Kroenke, I forget the president's name, Kevin Demoff, same as well. Like, hey, if you're from here, if you want to represent here, you got to be really in touch with the community and the real fans, the OGs. And that's not just the political stuff that comes down to merch, that comes down to ticket prices. Our outlet is always going to fight for that. You can call us annoying as fuck sometimes. I get that on Twitter. That's fine. At the end of the day, it's not selfish for me. It's because I don't want you paying $1,000 for a nosebleed seat at SoFi. I want you to be able to go and take your kids and your kids' kids and your friends and have fun without it being a decision between rent or the Rams game. Just like I saved it earlier. Speaking of which, we'll finish off with this. Rams Down Under. I don't know if they're still here or not. But speaking of the merch, I was going to get the white T-shirt, talking about the Alfred's Apartment collab, since they are there in Australia. He said I was going to get the white T-shirt, but the price would have been $89 AUD with shipping, and I just can't justify that much for a shirt, which sucks. And we all know, like, from talking with him, he's still going to college. He's at uni, as they call it. It's uni. And it's just, you got to pick and choose, man. And I'm sure going to the game is going to cost an arm and a leg for them as well. So, yeah, I just want great merch, and I want it to not be the most expensive. But that's a long-ass stream. Roon, we spent 2 hours talking Rams, OTAs, potential Rams. We played make-believe for a little bit. We talked politics. That's crazy taboo. Nobody ever talks politics in sports. right? Ever.
No.
Ever. It never happens. But you've been a champ filling in the giant shoes of Sheriff Joe Bags. On behalf of the chat, on behalf of me and Sheriff Joe Bags, we're giving you Great work, son. Great work. Do you have anything that you want to say before we get the hell out of here?
Just, I think I say this every time, but I'm just super impatient. UFL doesn't feed me enough. I need training camp at least, man. I need it now. I need it now. I need something to happen. I can't wait for when we trade for Justin Jefferson. So that's gonna be great. But no, had a great time tonight.
Yeah, everybody say thank you to Roon. Make sure you follow him at RamsActive, and then look out for us. I know it's just our members here at this point, so I'll give you guys a little insight. If you're one of our members, you get a first look. Tomorrow, I will be at Dodger Stadium. Speaking of the Dodgers, doing a shoot, talking to some fans. All I'll say is go give this channel a follow. Are you fan enough? You will be seeing my face over there. They are doing an LA show, secret, and your boy is part of it. I'm excited. So make sure you give Are You Fan Enough show a follow. It's a growing page that will hopefully, with your help, blow up pretty quickly and make me look really good. So yeah, give that a follow. I'll be there tomorrow. We'll get more details on that coming soon. Am I gonna clean myself up before? Dog, we're rolling in like this. We're rolling in with the. Oh yeah, I want to show Moody my shirt. Here you go. We can go out on this. Look at that. Little Yu-Gi-Oh action. Some nerd stuff. Some Blue Eyes White Dragon. You're too young for that, Roon. You don't know anything about that. All right, let's get out of here. Normally we fade off by listening to a few things. Let's get your take. We're just listing off as we fade off into the darkness. Top cereals.
Ooh.
Don't think. Let's go right now.
Let's go. Number one. Can't go wrong with the CTC Cinnamon Toast Crunch, baby. Number one. Number two. Give me Frosted Flakes. Give me Frosted Flakes at the 2.
Why are you going Frosted Flakes? Give us a deep dive on that.
Texture and the milk.